Dear students, in this video we are going to learn about the architectural styles during the medieval period. The medieval rulers built temples, palaces, forts, victory towers. They were good examples of architecture. In the early medieval period, the rulers were mostly belonged to the Hindu religion. They made temples to please their deities and also for asking their blessings on their rule. The medieval temples had two types of architecture. In North India, it was known as the Nagara style, and in South India, it was called the Dravidian style. In the temples, there was a Garbhagriha where the idol of the main deity was kept and worshipped. This is the picture of a Garbhagriha. And here the Garbhagriha, outside there was a way for the devotees to take a pradakshin called pradakshin padha. There were pradakshin padha both in the North Indian and South Indian temples. There were large pillared halls in the temples for conducting religious rites and ceremonies called mandapas. The temples had shikharas called tall towers. Now students, some temples had single shikhara and some had many shikharas. One main one and many smaller ones. Now students, there are many medieval temples such as the Mukteshwara temple, Lingaraj temple or the Khajuraho temples. They are having the shikharas. They are good examples of temple architecture, beautiful to visit. In the Garbhagriha, the main idol was kept and the other deities were arranged near to that according to their position and importance. Just like a king ruled with his feudatories and subfeudatories, the king tried to imitate the qualities of the deity worshipped. We know that the ruler thus appeared as a godlike figure and won the people's faith and loyalty. Now students, the temple complex had an entrance with a good architecture, carvings usually on stones in the early medieval period. These are called gopurams. Here different temples have beautiful gopurams for the entry and exit of the temples. Now children, the temples like the Vitala Swami temple and Virupaksha temple at Hampi, they have the large platforms where the king usually watched the cultural activities. The tower that was called the Vimana, and on it there was a dome-shaped structure. The medieval buildings had arches. In the Sultanate period, there were arches having tapering tops called corbel arches. The corbel arches were not holding too much loads, but the true arches were able to hold more weight. The arches were very beautiful in different monuments, mausoleums and forts. The Indo-Islamic architecture that was developed after the invasion of Muslim rulers in the Sultanate period and in the Mughal period, they made the buildings with large domes. Domes are the hemispherical roofs. Their base is square in shape. Humayun's tomb in Delhi and the Taj Mahal have large domes on the top of it. There were decorations in the monuments, forts and other type of buildings. The later medieval rulers used these carvings on the marbles and red sandstone. Floral designs were used, geometric patterns and calligraphy also was used in the medieval buildings, especially in the later medieval buildings. They avoided the use of animal and human forms because they were not practiced in the religion Islam. Calligraphy was developed during that time. We can see calligraphy in different later medieval buildings in which the verses from Quran were carved on the walls or the roofs or on the entrance gates of the buildings. We can see the beautiful patterns and designs in the monuments, mausoleums, forts and victory towers that were beautifully carved during the medieval period when the modern tools were absent at that time. The architects were very talented. The kings used such architects. In the Indo-Islamic period, the artisans from the Hindu temples were used for the construction of the mausoleums and the forts. They were built by the Muslim rulers. They had their own artisans brought from Central Asia, and there was a unique style of architecture called the Indo-Islamic style of architecture. Students, these are some of the architectural styles in the medieval period. In the next video, we will learn more about the architecture and blending of different architectural styles in the medieval period. Thank you.